everyone, my name is the Newbie Warrior, and what I want to do is, as a fan of first-person shooter games, military first-person shooters, and Call of Duty and Battlefield specifically, I wanted to talk about the recent, the events that are going on between these two games that are so huge. So, yeah, this is going to be over the top of some, what I consider to be newbie gameplay for Call of Duty. This is over the top of kill confirmed gameplay on Nuketown, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 with a pump action shotgun. And yeah, I do pretty good, but it's just I do a lot of cheesing and I play very newbie. So what I wanted to get into in this video, and I know I mean it's not a Call of Duty channel, maybe most of you that are watching don't care, but as somebody who my primary genre that I play is first-person shooters, like Call of Duty and Battlefield are probably my two most played games. So, I don't want either of these games. The first thing I want to talk about is, I don't want either of these games to suck, right? Like, if it's, best case scenario for me is both these games come out, both of them break their respective series records, and they're within 100,000 units of each other. And that would be, like, the best day in the world for me as a fan of both these series. But at the same time, we have to look at something interesting that's happening, and Call of Duty, if you guys haven't heard, so Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was announced. It was leaked that maybe it was a space game, we weren't 100% sure. So Call of Duty is now set in future, again, no surprise there. This time it's set in space. So there's no aliens, you're fighting humans, but apparently this faction has taken over and attacked Earth's colonies or something like that. And so the combat is in space, there is advanced movement for the third year in a row, and this will be like the fourth or fifth year in a row of being a futuristic setting for the game. So people are angry about this. Probably more angry than we've ever seen. The Call of Duty community kind of freaks out every year. Other communities of gamers always make fun of us for playing Call of Duty. You know, we're the joke, kind of. And what happens, normally the community is like, okay, well, we're going to be really angry and upset about this until we see gameplay, multiplayer gameplay. And since this trailer dropped, I'm not getting that vibe. I'm thinking this could be the first year where a lot of Call of Duty fans, the majority of fans, are actually off foot and may not buy the game this year. And there's a couple of reasons for this. And number one is, as a community, for the most part, we don't want advanced movement anymore. We've been there. We've done that. That's something that we very much have had, and a lot of people hating it from the get-go. I personally was willing to give it a shot, and I'm one of the few people that actually enjoyed it for a couple of years. But I definitely don't want it every year. I definitely don't want it to be standard for Call of Duty. I want it to be something special they sprinkle in once in a while. And so, I'm tired of it. And I know if I'm tired of the advanced movement, then everybody else is probably so tired of it that they never ever want to see another game that's set anywhere but World War II. And I understand that. So Call of Duty's ticking people off. At time of recording, I believe it had 2 million dislikes, that trailer, which is the fourth most disliked video on YouTube. It's only behind music videos, and it's about to overtake the third most disliked video. There are, you know, things that go into that, sure, that can contribute, but something else that I think is crazy is it's competition. So Battlefield, Call of Duty have always kind of gone head-to-head. Whenever a Battlefield game releases, they try to line it up pretty close to whatever Call of Duty's annual release is. We saw this with Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 last time. And basically, you know, they go head-to-head in a way, but at the same time, Call of Duty's always had, you know, many, many millions more units sold than Battlefield. That's just how it's been. Personally, Call of Duty usually I end up enjoying a little bit more than Battlefield. Like I said, I love both franchises. So, you know, I don't really care which one does better, actually. But what I'm trying to get at here is these two games, you know, they go head to head. And Battlefield released their trailer about a week after Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and they announced Battlefield 1, which, if you guys have not heard, is a World War I game. This is the year 2016. I don't think there's ever been a major AAA World War I game ever in the history of AAA first-person shooters. Maybe, I mean, I could be wrong. There could have been a Medal of Honor or something that I missed, but to me, this is a first. Okay, so you're actually going to see me transition over to some Battlefield Hardline gameplay here. So just because I'm talking about these two franchises, going Call of Duty and Battlefield, Call of Duty versus Battlefield, and I feel like it's not fair to only represent one of these games. The Battlefield gameplay, I'm going to be kind of messing around. I think I'm going to be running around with the Desert Eagle as my primary weapon, and messing around with that. Maybe I'll be shotgunning or something along those lines, or maybe sniping. But so what I'm getting at is, so Battlefield 1 announces, right? They say, we're doing a World War I game. Forget all this futuristic stuff. You know, we've got Star Wars EA probably is like, yeah, make a World War I game. We've got Star Wars Battlefront. We've got Titanfall 2 coming. So, yeah, go ahead. Do what you want. And so they got to make a game set in the past. And, you know, normally Call of Duty and Battlefield fans, some of them are the same, like myself, but for the most part, they're different groups of people, right? They're normally not superbly friendly to one another. But a lot of Call of Duty fans that I know are so wanting a game set in the past in a World War... They said World War II, but now, you know, World War I's even better. That trailer looks fantastic. If you have not seen these two trailers, I'll go ahead and leave links in the description. You can go check them out. I'll also... Yeah, so if you've not seen them, you should go watch them so you know kind of where I'm coming from with this. But as a Call of Duty fan, as a lifelong Call of Duty fan, for the first time, I'm more excited about a Battlefield game than a Call of Duty game. And I think this is kind of scary because Call of Duty is very much a hype game, right? I mean, most AAA games are, but Call of Duty specifically thrives on hype. Like 30% or something of all, you know, there's a massive amount of Call of Duty sales are pre-orders. Just because people know, or historically have been able to look at and say, yep, this is a Call of Duty game. They don't even have to watch a trailer sometimes. They can just put their annual pre-order down because they know they want to play Call of Duty that year. And they want more Call of Duty, and they want new Call of Duty with new maps and new weapons and that sort of thing. And so it's a game that very much, you know, you can just be excited about. It's like, you could tell me, okay, Call of Duty is set in the Stone Age, and I wouldn't blink. I'm probably still going to pre-order whatever special edition that there is, because it's Call of Duty. But for the first time, I'm not getting that kind of feeling from the community. The community seems like they're very, very, very... very upset about this. You know, it's being the 4th most disliked video on YouTube, breaking 2 million dislikes. That doesn't happen. I mean, sure, some of it's bots, and a lot of it is probably people that don't play or don't care about Call of Duty. But that's not something that just happens randomly, right? You don't just break 2 million dislikes on your trailer in the first 2 weeks, in the first week and a half. Maybe it's only been a week. And you can't just do that and act like it's no big deal. You know, I mean, clearly, people are upset about this. And on the contrary, Battlefield 1's trailer has already... It came out a week later than Call of Duty's trailer. It's already surpassed it in views. And it has a much, much, much higher like-to-dislike ratio. As a matter of fact, Battlefield 1 is now a contender to be the #1 most liked trailer on YouTube for video games, movies, music videos, products, anything. Battlefield 1 is now set to be the most liked trailer. That's crazy because that's the exact opposite of Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty is the most disliked trailer, or up there. Now Battlefield, or the most disliked video, and Battlefield is one of the most liked trailers. So, I think a lot of what we're seeing is the Call of Duty community putting their foot down for once and saying, we don't want a futuristic game. This is not what we want. You know, we want to go back in the past, or at least a modern game. Most people would probably be happy with a modern game. But they're looking at Battlefield 1 and saying, we want, you know, this is something I want to play. I want to play something from the past. I want to experience those old World War games that, you know, I got tired of about 10 years ago before Modern Warfare and Battlefield became modern and Medal of Honor and all the other games. You know, everything is World War II shooters. Now, we could be looking at a recurrence to World War I and potentially back to World War II shooters. Because, clearly, the community of first-person shooter gamers is a lot more excited about this new game. And I don't think, I mean, as much as I love Battlefield, I don't think that's because Battlefield is, people are, you know, Call of Duty fans are realizing Battlefield is a better game than Call of Duty. I think it's mostly setting things. I think people don't want futuristic, they don't want advanced movement, and they really want a simpler game. You know, a game with lots of weapons, lots of variety, lots of fun, crazy things to do. But they don't want that advanced movement. They don't want the extra mechanics. They don't want to have to stress about somebody wall running on a tree when they're playing Search and Destroy and, you know, jump shotting them. They don't want to worry about somebody, you know, exo boosting above them on the map and dropping down and punching their whole team in the back. That's not something that they want to worry about. That's not something they want to play anymore. They definitely don't want to play on spaceships. Now, am I saying that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare will be a bad game? No, I think Call of Duty Infinite Warfare will be a great game. I could be wrong. It could be a horrible game, and it could be the best game ever. But I'm guessing it's going to be a fine Call of Duty game. There's going to be not much wrong with it, but the advanced movement is going to bug a lot of people. And so, I think something like Battlefield 1 could have, for the first time, could have an actual chance of outselling Call of Duty. And I think that's really good for marketplace dominance. It's really good for the first-person shooter marketplace and landscape as a whole. I think, you know, to have one game like Call of Duty dominate the military shooter genre, the arcade military shooter genre for so long, I mean, I love Call of Duty. I don't want Call of Duty to die, right? But I think that Battlefield might, and rightfully so, get a real shot at becoming the #1 selling game this year. And I think that's something that we're just gonna have to accept as Call of Duty fans, and something I'm very excited about as a Battlefield fan. And so yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. I will leave, it's kind of funny, it's worth noting that the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer is a bad trailer. It is not well cut. It doesn't really portray the game's graphics effectively. I know maybe they're just trying to be really honest to gameplay graphics, and that's fine, but I think with if you would have provided first-person gameplay, we didn't get any of that. That would have been fine, right? If you would have shown off, you know, even 10 seconds of first-person gameplay, I would understand running the actual game's graphics. But if you're just showing us the cinematics like you were, then soup them up, make them look prettier. Or just give us gameplay so we understand what you're trying to do, you know, how the movement system works. Maybe there isn't advanced movement, maybe they're just, you know, trolling us with the jetpacks in the trailer. Maybe for some reason our heroes can't use advanced movement, or that's only in single player. But I think that trailer doesn't do a good job of selling that game at all. I think if people had never seen a futuristic Call of Duty game before, if Ghosts had just come out, you know, if Ghosts had just come out recently, if Ghosts was the last Call of Duty game, and this Infinite Warfare trailer dropped, I think some people would be excited about it. I think there'd be genuine hype. I think people would be like, alright, we're getting a futuristic game, you know, let's give it a shot. But after we've kind of ran out this advanced movement phase, I don't think people want that, you know? I don't think that's what anybody wants in Call of Duty. So, yeah, there's my thoughts. I will leave a link to those trailers and a pretty funny video that I feel sums up the Call of Duty and Battlefield marketing schemes. It's a rap song by the game rapper Dan Bull. As always, I appreciate any feedback, comments, likes, etc. Please go check out the Josiah Waymont. He's the very talented musician who produces the music for my intro. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening to me rant.